Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, oh, there he is. What's up, dude? Okay, so you couldn't have come on at a better time. There's stupid debate going on in the studio right now, and
Okay.
it's
It's
completely
LeBron James is the GOAT. I know.
that's obvious. But this is
Yeah.
this just infuriating me that the answers I'm getting are infuriating. So, in it, one of my producer has been posing this question all night: if Snoopy and Garfield were in a no holds barred cage fight to the death, who wins?
Garfield.
What the fuck, dude?
You know how I know?
How is that possible? Okay, look. First of all, Snoopy is a World War I veteran. He was in the Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
He's killed men. He's killed Nazis, Lamorne. Like
Mm-hmm.
that. He's flown airplanes that have taken out Nazis, and he watched them die. What has
Yeah.
Garfield done? He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that depth.
So does Snoopy have an airplane in this fight?
No, but he's got the he's got the death in him.
Nah, he's got an airplane.
He
It's
doesn't
really
have.
easy to shoot somebody from a distance, you little bitch. Now you get hand-to-hand combat. Garfield, he will die about his food. You know what I'm saying? He's a hungry little dude.
Yeah.
He'll eat him.
And
He would
he's.
eat him.
I mean, that is a weird thought to think that, like, in that moment, a cat would just literally eat an actual dog because that is what they are. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine a cat just being like, "Get me out of this cage," and just eats another dog?
Here's why I feel so strongly about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, this has not been announced yet. I'm playing Garfield in the new series, so that's why I'm so strong. I feel so strongly about it.
Well, I hate to cover up your news with a hat on a hat, but I will be playing Snoopy in the Snoopy.
Are you really?
Yeah, that's so weird you say that. They are in the same universe. We're hoping for some crossover. Uh, we're gonna find out. Lamorne, what's up, dude? Thank you so much for coming on here, man. Even though your answer was wrong, I appreciate you coming on.
It was right, and when the show comes out in Christmas time, you're gonna see.
People are gonna
I'm gonna,
know. The
people are
world's
gonna know.
finally gonna know.
Garfield's gonna fuck you up, dude.
See, dude. See.
That's
Um,
good to know that this is the debate that you have
yeah,
when you're trying to impress upon the future generation of our business.
yeah.
But,
Well, it's really just about keeping it loose.
yeah.
Keeping it loose and always being creative. No, dude, thank you so much for doing this, man. Like, I've been having some people come on, some really like people that I'm very selective with who I want on here because
Hmm.
I'm not like doing this thing to like look at us talk and be funny. Like I'm
Hmm.
trying to like share this experience of the pursuit of this industry and like not just the
Hmm.
industry but the art form of it, and all these different variations and ways that people get to where they go. And
Hmm.
so it's more about sharing these stories with people. So I'll tell them this story. I told you this when I first met you. When I first met Lamorne when we were on Noir, I was kind of half in character, half not in character. And Lamorne's first day, he walks into like the holding area, but not character me remembered years prior I had tested for this Hulu show, and we had a chemistry read together. And he had a chemistry read with like six other guys, but I was one of those guys. And I remember going into the chemistry read and doing this with him, and I remember walking out being like, dude, that's one of the fucking nicest guys I've met in this
Hmm.
biz, Like I just remember thinking like, man, good, like what a good dude. I hope he crushes. Like I hope it goes great. And so I'm telling him this story, but I'm telling him it half in the character that I'm playing on the show. So as I'm telling him this story, he's equal parts flattered and totally looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong
I
with this
was
guy?
I was confused. Part of me was like, did I meet a guy who? Because you were deep into the voice too,
Yeah.
and when you were telling me the story, and I couldn't, and you, I think at the time you had a lot of the stuff on the
Yeah.
prosthetics and stuff, so I was a little lost. I was like, for real? I was like, we read together, dude. And then it clicked, and then it hit me. You did not get the part, but uh, it wasn't an indictment on you because
Yeah.
you were fantastic.
And listen, dude, like I'm the king of the almost, you know what I mean? That's just another day at the office for me.
Yeah.
Because again, like to circle back to the point of this whole thing, like it's not really what I'm in the pursuit of.
Hmm.
Booking the job is not the thing that I'm trying to go out and do. That's not what started this for me, really. So yes, there's times in my life for sure where I would carry that burden of not getting a gig or whatever, but it's not about the gig. The gig's the extra credit. It's about being able to
Hmm.
do the thing and make the art. And
Yeah.
whether I knew that back then or not, I don't remember, but I do feel that way now. And you know who did get it? Blake Anderson. Am I right? Remember, guys? I tell you, he's always swooping my roles, dude. It happens every time.
Fucking Blake. And what's
Swooping
so
my
funny
roles.
is I think Blake might be the only person who didn't audition.
Yeah, oh, I
I
know
don't
that for sure. He didn't audition. I
because
know
I
that.
auditioned and the other guy who played Clovis auditioned. Everybody auditioned, and I was like, "Well, how the fuck you just gonna give this?" I
Yeah.
was like, "Everybody else read except for Blake." I said, "God damn,
Now you
must
guys
be
know my
nice."
story was the true story. Now you know.
I was
Um,
like, "Must be nice."
yeah, yeah. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. But anyway, so fast forwarding ahead, and I do want to get into like the later part of like the artistry and some of the stuff. But another thing that Lamorne did on that set that I really appreciated, and I think at least for me was the moment where I was like, oh yeah, yep, this is the guy. It was the first time we had a scene together, and we weren't even really the focal point of the scene, but we were tracking the story for ourselves anyway. And I was always tracking my story, trying to figure out like where I'm going and where I was and how I feel about where I'm at. And a lot of that has to do with who you're in the room with. And I look over at Lamorne and he's looking right at me. And he's doing the same thing. And we're not the focus of anything. But we're in our story. And I was like, oh fuck, yeah, there he is. I was like, now I know every time. Like I got
Mhm.
someone that we can add to this story now, like
Mhm.
things there was nothing in the script really at all that would involve he and I. But we created something, and sure enough, it is a moment. It
Yeah.
makes it into the thing. And it was just nothing there. It's just two dudes in their art, fully locked in, just like seeing it. I saw the story he was telling, he saw the one I was telling. We played it for 5-10 minutes, bam, made it into the show.
What's cool about it though, what people don't pick up from scripts, um, or people do pick up that's not written, will be the difference between a good character and a memorable character. And when I watched the show, beyond, and I'm not just saying this because you're here. I had a meeting with my team the other day, and and I said this to them. I was like, because they hadn't seen it, and I was like, oh no. I was like, Andrew is the dude. I was like, he is so sick in this show, and I'm not sure how much was given to you script wise, but when I say it's little moments like that that really carry you through. The through line is there, and you can see it from the beginning. From the first time you step on screen, you can go, "Oh, I got a feeling this guy is gonna this. It's gonna be some shit with him at the end." You know what I mean? And the actor who kind of phones it in, who kind of just plays it straight, you play the beats for what has been given to you. You can kind of get lost in the shuffle. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you did a good job. You did a good job. But for that person who's adding those little moments, that connective tissue, you're figuring out what your relationship is with every single character, and you're finding those moments to play that. The creative, not just the creative, the editors see it. The editors see those moments, the little looks that you might give when they're putting that thing together. They're like, oh, this dude's locked in. I needed that. I needed something that was going to connect this person to that person, because when we get to this scene, we need the audience to have tracked that. There's little details that a lot of teachers don't teach you. Um, a director is not always going to give that to you. I think you just play and you find it, and you definitely did that. Like I said, when you watch the show, wait, have you seen it,
Yeah, I've seen it.
bro? I don't want to spoil anything for
Yeah,
anybody, but like you're the dude.
it's
you're
pretty
the,
cool.
you're the,
Yeah,
you're the
it's pretty
dude.
cool. It's pretty
You know
cool.
what I
Yeah.
mean? I was just like, as I was watching it, I was just going like, because we have our man. I don't
Yeah, I
want to
know
say
we
shit.
can't. We can't.
You can't say shit,
We're
but
close.
yeah, I don't want to ruin it, because typically in your superhero, shows or movies, who the big bads are, and you got fuck, I don't
Welcome to my
just
life,
just
man.
know you crushed it, and I think the world's gonna see that pretty soon. It's
I appreciate that too.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
and to your point about actors who sort of play the beats and do the moments. One of the things I talk to the members of the studio a lot about is the difference between acting being an analytical thing, where it's like step one, step two, step three, or an
mhm,
artistry thing, where it's
yeah,
where it's impulsive, reckless in the moment. Like it doesn't necessarily mean you're a fully method actor or anything, because it wasn't like I was method. I'm still telling the guy, dude, it was awesome doing that chemistry with you a couple years ago, and I
yeah.
probably would have dropped the voices if it wasn't for the fact that it involved all my physicality, and I'm doing a fight thing in the next few minutes. There's an analytical way to act that a lot of people can follow, and it is following the beats, making sure you say every single line the way it's meant to be, making sure
Mhm,
it's the mathematics
mhm,
exists. You can have a career in the acting of mathematics for sure, but it's not art.
Yeah.
Really not an art form at that point. It has to feel risky and alive, and it has to breathe. And again, I think it exists. Yes, could I have done this thing by myself? But I'll tell you what, like Nick Cage track story the same way Lamorne and I did. And it's
Mhm.
not like we had a conversation. It's not like I'm like, hey bud, do you mind tracking some internal stuff with me? Like, no, it's just when you like it for the art,
Mhm.
that's how you make it. It's you can spot the artists from the mathematicians from a mile away on set.
Oh yeah.
Mile
And
away.
but you know what's crazy? It's like the some of our legends do both.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we all do it. I like to believe that, we were doing both,
You have to
but
do both.
you have to do both. You still have to be a student of it. Um, Nick, I never say anything like it. He's such an iconic character. I've worked with a lot of like OGs in this business, and some of them phone it in. Some of them, they've made their $500 million. They're good. They got their private jets. They're just kind of phoning it in. At this point, it's a money grab, and more power to them. That if that is your life, you know what I mean. Um, Nick is one of those guys that at the table read, he was off book for the season, and I hadn't even had all the episodes yet. Like I hadn't even read them all, and he. We had done a scene on our I want to say it was our first scene together. Yeah, it was Nick and I's first scene together, and he started pitching me something, and he refers to like episode 8. He's like, yeah, because in episode 8, when you say, and he says this thing, and he's quoting my character. He's like, you said this and this and this, and I come in and I go boom, 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 and I say, but he's saying the dialogue back and forth, and I'm giving him this look of confusion, and he goes, oh, wait, I mean, have you read it? I said, they haven't given me those episodes yet. And he goes, what do you mean? What are you talking about? I said, well, you're Nick Cage. They're going to give you whatever you ask for. I've asked for them. They have not given them to me yet. And he goes, well, you're on the show. I said,
Yeah.
yeah, yes, dude, I know. But he was so off book. He's pitching me ideas because he knows where we end up, and he's pitching me all this stuff, and I was just so impressed by that because my way of performing in preparation was obviously different than his. You know what I mean? I'm kind of even though I would love to know where the story is going. I'm a in real time kind of
Yeah.
person. You know what I mean? And a real time performer because I like to be loose as well. And I'm off book, but I like to be so loose that if an idea pops in my head, I don't have the script in my way, that I can just kind of go. And I work that out with the directors and showrunners and stuff before we shoot. I just let them know that's just how my style is. And but Nick is like a student, you know. He knows every detail. He doesn't really play on set that much, meaning like, let's try this. He's got it worked out already.
Yeah.
Like he's got it worked out already. And then I remember there was a moment where the director wanted him to, you could tell the director was trying to get him to go full Cage. And he didn't know how to say it. You know what I mean? He kept giving him some note, and Nick was kind of looking at him confused, and Nick looked at me and he was like, "Oh, does he want me to go for it?" I was like, I think so. And you gotta give him full Cage.
Dude, there's
The
so many of
next
those great full cage moments too. Like he was born for this, dude.
I mean, next take he goes, talk about reckless. He just boom, he just does something so wild and so crazy. And I'm like, he's the dude. Like he knows every aspect of everything that's going on at all times, and he even knows what some of the fans want to see. You know what I mean? And he can pull from it at any given moment. It's very impressive to watch.
It's that emotional availability. He just knows
Hmm.
himself. He knows what he is. He
Yeah.
knows he knows his optics. I mean, we
Hmm.
talk about optics all the time. You got to know what they see when they look at you, like it or not. You got to know. So he knows and he plays his optics. I mean, he
Yeah.
drives crazy cars and dresses crazy and does
Yeah.
like I mean, he knows what he's doing. It's the awareness of your emotions, your optics, what you got to know the whole thing. I want to
And
say
wait, before
go
that,
ahead.
before you, sorry to cut you off, but
No, go ahead.
he's a student and a historian of our business. He knows everything about every film that has been produced. In fact, the director was giving him a note about what he was going to do a weird shot with the camera. He said, I'm going to have the camera move in from a very low angle, and then it's going to come up, right before you say your line. And I don't know, I don't remember the reference or even understand the reference that he was talking about. And even what I'm about to say is gonna, he just goes, "Oh, so you want me to do a Rooney from 1962 film, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay." He just remembered a shot
Now let me ask you
from a
this:
movie from the 60s. And he
what
was
if
like,
he's
"Oh,
just
I'll do
making that
that."
shit up? What if he's just making that shit up?
He could.
Like, does
It could be
anybody
a
know what
test.
Rooney from '60 said? Like, what if he's just making shit up to see if people are like, exactly, Nick, you're the man. You're the man, Nick. We love you, Nick. You're the man. Yes, the Rooney. It's the Rooney jump cut from '62, buddy. You know it. You're a genius. We love you.
And that's what he knows. He's dealing with a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
He's
He's
like,
like,
"Ah, I
ah,
can't
here we
trust
go
them." So.
again. Bunch of bastards. Another thing I noticed about you, and this could be totally what we see as opposed to what it is, but one thing I want to say about you, man, that I thought was so cool, and I wonder if it comes from, it's weird. Usually when I have these conversations, we start much sooner, but I am going to kind of work backwards. I wonder if this comes from like repetition and consistency. But I noticed on set, dude, like you have such a cool, calm demeanor about you on set, and I guess in my mind, I assume because the guy spent 10,000 hours on a set, probably. You know, if you add it all up, he's mastered the art of being on set. But it was very comforting, kind of, and like interesting to see because you have a big weight of this thing, and you're the guy, and to watch your cool, calm demeanor, especially during some of those bigger scenes, I was super impressed by. Is that really what's going on, or are you freaking out on the inside?
I'm freaking out before I get there.
Hmm.
I'm freaking out on the moment an offer comes in for something I agree to. Then I start freaking out just because the preparation leading up to it is the that's the what do you call it? That's the real journey right there. Is reading it for the first time and then developing a character, because you have so many options. I like to. I'm an improviser, so I get stuck in just having 1,000 options, and I go sometimes I got to just choose. So that is the hardest part for me is before we start shooting. Once I get there, once I'm in, and I learned this from New Girl. When I first got on New Girl, it was my first TV series. I was so nervous. Those first few seasons, I was like, I didn't know what I was doing really. You know what I mean? You go straight from acting school to television series. You're like, are they gonna fire me? You know what I mean? Like, how's my lineup? My hair look good. What we doing? Like, my teeth too big. What's at some point they're gonna find me out. Imposter syndrome. I'm not supposed to be here. Every day I thought I was gonna be fired. It wasn't until season 3 where I realized, like, oh no, it's actually not that deep. Everybody's having a good time. Just everybody comes for the same thing. Just play, have fun. The rest is in your director's hands, editor's hands. You know what I mean? Like, make a choice, stick with it. And I learned that from there. So from that moment, and ever since then, I just kind of I go, what's the worst that could happen? No one's gonna kill me.
Right.
Like, if I make a bad choice, we're a room full of creative people. That's what we're supposed to do. We're
Yeah.
all trying to make something. So I'm just loose and chill. I don't really get rattled or stressed out. Um, it I don't know, it took a while. And like I said, in the beginning of my career, I was a fucking mess, man. But now I'm like, dude, man, I got a family at home. I got a daughter, you know what I mean? Like, I'm
It
good.
does
Like,
get
I've
easier. It does get
and it
easier
makes it
the older you
this
get.
also makes it easier too, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey,
you got one of them bad boys. This is validation. once once I got this, wow, walker, so
I
shut
was
the fuck up,
wondering.
everybody. I'm here. No.
I was
But
wondering when that was going to happen because everyone that we've had on this show that has an Emmy or a Golden Globe or something always has that shit in the background. And
you
when he
gotta have
came
it.
on, I was like, I know it's close.
It's gotta be
I
close.
know
It's
it's
gotta be
close,
close.
dude.
You know what's so funny? I use it for pitches. If I feel the pitch is not going well, I'm trying to sell a show or a cartoon or something. If I feel it's not going well, I go, just 1 second.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, this is glaring me.
Yeah.
So, 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 how did all this start, man? Like when you were a kid, like when did acting or performing, like what was the moment where it sort of happened for you?
At church, actually. Well, actually, even before that, I knew I was a clown. My father, I don't remember much about him, but I remember one thing he said when I was little was that I was a clown because I used to always pick on my brother who's older than me. But I was like, oh, I'm a clown in the family. And when I got a little older, I remember there was a church play, and Sister Johnson is her name, and she said, "Hey, you should do the play." And I was so nervous. I was like, "I don't want to do the play. What is that? What is that?" Dude, there was no script. They were just like, you have to make fun of you have to pretend to be the preacher. And our preacher was such a character. He used to wear, like, if he had on a pink suit, his socks were also pink, his shoes were pink, the band on his watch was pink. He was just pinked out. If it was green, it was green. And he was such a character. And so I just did my best impression of him. I was 13, I want to say, and it killed. I mean, that the reaction of having a whole congregation full of people laughing and applauding, I was like, what is this? As like the greatest feeling I've ever had, right? Because at that time I was a virgin, so I didn't know what vagina felt like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that was that was the feeling. You know what I mean? I was like, oh my God. And so back at high school, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try for the play. Made the school play. And then I just kept doing it. I just stopped playing basketball as much, and just fully went for it. Because at that point now, I kind of understood, entertainment was something for me. I still didn't know if it was going to be acting or not, because I also love sports. And I thought maybe I wanted to be a journalist, a sports journalist, maybe like a news anchor or something like that. And I had this guy from Fox News. His name was Corey McFerrin. He's like the sports guy in Chicago. His niece happened to be in my class. And so she brought him to our school one day just to meet me. And him and I chatted. I got an internship down at the station. I realized how much work went into it, and I said, "No, I'm not doing it." I was like,
Yeah. No.
"It's just basketball. How much research do I got to do?" I was like, "This is." Then I got to write a whole story about it. I was like, "No," and so kept stuck with acting. Stuck with acting. I used to get kicked out of class so much for goofing off. My teacher would give me 5 minutes before class. He's like, "Lamorne, is there anything you want to say? Now just remember, I'll give you 5 minutes, but if you take the 5 minutes, you also have to go to detention right after." I was like, he's like, or you could just shut up and let me get through the class. And I was like, I'll take the five
Yeah,
minutes.
hell yeah.
And that would take the
That's
five
5 minutes.
minutes.
That's valuable.
Yeah, it's
Five
five
minutes is
minutes.
valuable time.
I would just go down the line roasting people. I would just do a whole bit. I would make up stories about how my day went, all this stuff.
Yeah. And off to
And
detention. See ya.
off to detention. And the lady in detention gave me a pamphlet for Second City. She was like, "You're in here a lot. I'm just curious what you think your plan is after high school." And I didn't have one really. I was like, I think I want to be an actor, but I don't know where that begins. And she gave me the pamphlet for Second City, so you should check it out. I eventually went to Second City. I went to a community college down the street from my house, got an acting scholarship there. I auditioned with the monologue from this play called Suburbia, and I did this monologue. Got the it was the Chris Farley scholarship. Um, Simultaneously, I'm going to Second City, doing shows there, taking class, doing plays at school, doing shows at night. It was a very crazy balance. But I was addicted to it. It was in that moment where I was like, oh, and I didn't even want to be in film or TV. I wanted to teach. I was inquiring about teaching at Second City. I said, well, can I support my family being a teacher here? And it was like, well, you might have to pick up, you might have to be a bartender as well. You might have to do this as well. And I was like, oh, that's good. That's fine. Like I want to, that's what I want to do with the rest of my life. And then the more I did it, just the deeper I got into it, where opportunities started coming up. People would, line up to go see me at Second City, me and my group. And it again, that rush of the crowd again. It's like, okay, well, how do I get more of this? It was like a drug. And it was TV. It was, my mentor, Deanna Griffin, was like, maybe you should, be do some commercials. Maybe you should think about doing this, broaden the scale, make it bigger. And again, I didn't know shit about shit. I was just kind of taking it step by step. She was like, get headshots. Okay, great, get headshots. Okay, get an agent. How do I do that? Well, at the time, you had to like put it in an envelope. You had to print out a resume, staple it to the back of the thing, mail it out to all these different places. And then I got some calls back, and that was it, dude. I just started auditioning. And, thankfully Chicago at the time was a small pool, where if you're auditioning, it's between you and five other people. So the odds of you getting a job were a lot higher. And so I was working a lot. when I was around 18 or 19. Moved to New York,
All in Chicago. Like you were booking in Chicago.
all in Chicago,
So what were
all in
some of the
Chicago.
jobs that were coming through Chicago at that time?
Every once in a while, you had like a procedural, like you would get like a guest star on a procedural. They were doing were they doing ER at the time in Chicago? They might have been doing ER at the time in Chicago, and I never got an audition for that, but I got an audition for commercials. There was a ton of commercials coming to town. Like I had done in a year, maybe like 5 nationals, and people would know me from that. You know what I mean? It became a thing. It was like you and your boys all sitting in the room, and you're looking at these faces, and you're like, every one of us is working.
Yeah.
But then you move to New York, and you're like, ah, shit.
Like, I'm in the back of the line. Back of the line.
God damn.
Yeah.
Like, how do
It's
I get a
funny,
job
man,
in this town?
because the industry, I mean, it's so what year did you start? What year was
About the New York time, or like before that?
before? Like when you were in Chicago and all that. Like,
Second. I started Second City in '03.
okay, so that's like around the same time I went to LA. And the industry was that is sort of how you maneuvered your way through it back then.
Mm,
I did the Second City thing in LA when I was young and worked like, but as far as like reps and like getting discovered, like now it's so different now. And like there's so many like all those old avenues in are now gone, but now there's so many other back doors in. And it's
mm.
all about like creating and content and being exposed and seeing things
Oh
and
yeah.
I think that's like the way in now. But I hear these stories and it's not that different. But um,
I have a
when
buddy. I have a buddy. Do you know Andrew Batchelor? King
no,
Batch? King
oh yeah, yeah,
Batch.
yeah, I do know King Badge.
The guy is a monster. I he went to film school. He did the thing. You know what I mean? Where everyone's like, you got to go if you want to be a director or an actor, you got to go to school, you got to do and he did it. And he couldn't find representation here in LA. Season 2 of New Girl, I get a DM on Twitter from him. It's like, hey man, can you I'm a big fan of your stuff. I'm doing this parody. I wrote this parody. I would love for you to be in it. And I was like, who the hell is this dude? Like just being your parody. What? All right. So I go and look at his page and I click an older parody that he had done. And I like my mind was blown. I was like, the production value. He had prosthetics on, it was a whole thing. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? I read the script and I'm in tears laughing. I was like, oh my God, this guy's brilliant. So I do the video. It was a parody for Django, right? And it crushed, right? Now, keep in mind, at the time, he didn't have any followers on Twitter or Instagram. He didn't. He was fairly new. He was trying to find his way in because he didn't have representation. And we become buddies, right? I give him advice on, the business, and he's a workhorse. This guy was so focused and so locked in that any bit of advice I would give him, he would activate and put it in motion immediately. And Vine came out, and Vine was like, the app where it's like you make a video in 6 seconds. It was kind of the beginning of the social media influencer, and he started making vines. And when I say start making vines, he's the biggest viner in the world, and it happened within like 2 months. And every day when we would hang out, like I'd rap. If I had an early day at New Girl, I'd text him, see where he was. He's like, "Oh, dude, I'm at the apartment." I would go to his apartment. He had this massive whiteboard, like the size of this, and he would have dates. So it was like a little calendar, and he would have sketch ideas and different actors that he wanted to be in it. And sometimes I'd help him out. Sometimes I'd be in his videos. The people at work were always like, "Why are you making these vines?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's just kind of a fun little thing to do outside of work." Then Vine blew up in such a way that Fox ended up calling him to like help promote their shows. And he started leveraging all of his relationships and all of the stuff. Like he would have like a director say, "Hey man, can you help me promote my movie? I'd pay you X amount of dollars. You just do a skit about the movie and blah, blah, blah." And he'd be like, "Yeah, if you put me in your next one, keep the money, put me in your next one." And before you know it, the guy's a damn movie star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the guy, and he used that avenue to get in. I mean, the guy went from not being able to get a rep to like reps knocking his door down.
Yeah,
And
my
I don't really
manager
want.
reps.
Yeah, there you go.
My manager's like, I love this kid. This guy just
Yeah.
sells shows. He's awesome. Yeah.
I mean, everything. He'll get, I got the show idea, and I'll be like, all right, cool. Like, whatever happened with it? He's like, oh, I sold it.
Yeah. No, I get to go
Oh.
on manager, but you're not gonna believe this shit that happened today. It's crazy. Uh, so all right. So I want to ask you this too, because you mentioned this earlier, and like it's been sticking with me the whole time we've been talking. So you're talking about like when you were younger, you used to like roast your brother and shit, and like he was older
Mhm,
than you, and your dad would say you were
mhm,
a clown. Is that like I have a very similar experience where it was like the first time I made my dad laugh. You know,
mhm.
my dad was like a hardened old bastard. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like when your dad said to you like you're a clown, uh, did when you heard him say that, did you take that as it seems to me like you took that as like a purpose? Like, oh, I appreciate like what it like most people would say, like, oh, that's fucked up, dad. Like it'd be like calling you an idiot, like, but when your dad what did that experience just if you can remember? I mean, what did that feel like when your dad said to you, like, you're a clown? Because for some reason when you said that, it just like got me all like fired
Well,
up.
when you're that age, you don't know nuance. That age, you just know a clown makes people laugh. So I didn't understand. Like nowadays, you call somebody a clown, that's an insult.
Was he
But
saying it as an insult, or do you think
no, 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 no. I don't believe he was, because he was saying it's okay. He's a clown. You know what I mean? And so I was like, oh, sweet. Like I don't got a big red nose, nothing like that. But like I get to fuck with people.
so
You know?
did your dad at that like start to expect that out of you? Like he would kind of sit back and enjoy the show from time to time?
Oh yeah. I'm trying to remember if my dad ever scolded me when I was a kid. I don't think he was too high to do it, to be honest with you.
Right.
But like he never did. Like I never gotten any. Dude, I was a little asshole.
But like that was
Like
it sounds like that was encouraged by your I mean,
it
which is
was.
awesome.
My mom wanted to be a performer when she was younger. In fact, she did. My mom was in theater school and all, but she got pregnant at 19 and then got married the following year to my dad, and then she just kind of, I don't want to say gave up. She didn't give up the dream. It's just that circumstance.
Yeah, she had to be
You
a
know what I
parent.
mean? To be a parent.
Yeah.
And we talk about my mom's hilarious. The comedy kind of runs in our family. No one, I'm the only one that's ever done it professionally. But I met my grandfather for the first time when I first moved to LA. I went out to visit him, old man, like really old, half blind, and it was just joke after joke after joke, and he felt like an old comic. Like when you talk to OG comics, he felt like one of those, but he never pursued it. He never tried to pursue it. He was just funny. Like my uncles are all funny. Like they're all, it's in the DNA. I was just the only one that thought like, oh, I think I could do something with this. Because I was surrounded by it. You know what I mean? My uncles, even my friends, all my friends are funny. Like all my friends, and a lot of them, obviously they're still performing. They're actors, but I was surrounded by that, and they're all comics. They're all so. But when I was younger, it was one of those things where it was highly encouraged. You know what I mean? I'm from the south side of Chicago, so it was either that or some dumb shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't like I was outside like that. Like it wasn't like I was in the street. So like my oldest brother was, and some of my cousins, and But like if I'm just goofing off, my mom, my dad, and grandparents, they're all like, thank God this is what we got to deal with. It's
Do
just
you
he's
look
a
at
clown.
do you look at that now like as an adult and think that that was your way of kind of staying out of all that shit? Like, do you think like it was kind of like, look, I could push any limit I want to. I'll go straight to detention because
Yeah.
this is what's keeping me out of that and keeping me in my parents' good graces. Like, do you think that your desire do you think that the initial desire to pursue this thing stems from it's what's keeping you out of the bullshit?
It did. I remember, avoiding bullies that way, was by being silly. And, somewhat till this day, that's how I avoid confrontation, is just by adding humor to the situation. I don't like confrontation. Even my friends will tell me, they're like, dude, you just let shit boil up too much. Like, if, my sister, if somebody says something sideways, the first time she'll check you. Me, I'm just like, yeah, you get a pass. If you do it again, it's like, yeah, whatever. You do it a third time, I blow up so aggressively that it's like, dude, what the hell is wrong with you? I'm like, well, I gave this motherfucker 3 times.
Yeah,
You
I was
know,
funny twice.
yeah, like I've tried to tell them the same joke. Motherfucker didn't get the punchline.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I avoided, I would sidestep around issues. You know what I mean? Was using humor, and and I got along famously with people. I'm not sure if that was the way to do it, but I I just used it for everything, for every aspect of my life. You know, it gets you out of depression. It gets you out of the environment that you're in mentally. Um, because not just, and I wasn't doing it just to avoid. I enjoy that state of being, a humorous state of being. It's life is too short, and there's too much shit happening in this world, and obviously there are times to be serious, but I and it's something that I always impress upon my daughter too is just find the joy and just have fun. Like I give her the same message when I drop her off at school. It's like have fun, go be weird. Like
Yeah, yeah.
just go explore, go and don't, you know, because we get so bogged down with whatever's happening in our lives that we forget that we ain't got that much time here. Like you got to be smiling, you got to be happy. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, not a lot of people can be um circumstances in life obviously, but like I try to find as much as I can because I went through some shit coming up, dude, and like I'm glad I made it out the other side, you know.
Yeah. And humor had a lot to do with that, it sounds. I mean, every story you've
Yeah,
told so far, to like all the shit you went through, whatever that may be, it sounds like however you dealt with it was through humor, and using that as the instrument that you played. Like some people could. It's. I feel like good art always starts as some sort of defense mechanism.
yeah,
I feel like it has to be survival because like true artists, like if you're not creating art, like you go fucking crazy. And like
yeah,
so I think like real artists stem from that being their defense mechanism. I need to get away from A, so I do this. And
yeah,
so again, like painters can go hide in their room and draw,
yeah,
musicians they can sing, but like actors are the ones that got to live that experience. Like it's the
yeah,
only art form that doesn't have an escape. If anything, it's just a platform. Like
yeah,
every artist, you can lock yourself in a booth and create. Like actors have to face the world with it. So
yeah,
you're very much exposed if this is your chosen art form because the only way you get to do it is in front of people and being emotionally available.
yeah, yeah,
And then what ends up happening, which seems as if it happened to you, it's like in the pursuit of this role to be the clown, to let this role and this humor that my parents like and support, and it keeps me out of the bullshit like my brother, and now I get to, you pursue that thing so relentlessly through all that bullshit and keep doing it, and then cut to, you get to have this wonderful career where you get to walk on sets and be confident and have that little statue over there to the right or left or wherever it's at. Yeah, yeah.
move my
Oh,
goldfish on this
yeah.
side
Oh,
because
yeah, yeah.
I gotta save space for the goldfish on that side.
But I think that's why it's so important that artists, like no matter where they are, whether in the South Side of Chicago, they're in Buffalo, LA, whatever, like to discover that and cater to that keeps people from losing themselves. And
Yeah,
and again, it's like, yeah, the career part's great, but in having something come from it, great. But being able to live your life as an actor artist and
hmm,
know that you can express that art at the fucking grocery store, it's
hmm,
life saving. Like
yeah,
it can be the most beautiful art form, but there's no hiding it. And it's so
yeah.
cool, like with you to see, that again, pursuing it for so long, like it got you to all these places where now you get to sort of live in it. It's like you get to
Oh
live
yeah.
in that place, and that's great, man.
The coolest thing about it is now having a child is now she's old enough to understand what I do for a living. Before, when I would take her on walks and stuff, people would like stop and ask for a photo. She was so confused. She didn't know what or why. And like, why are they stopping my father? And sometimes she'd be like, no, it's my daddy. Like, get away, it's my daddy. And then she starts seeing like billboards or she'll see like a commercial or so. I do a lot of commercials. So she'll see a commercial for something. And now she's picking it up. And I get to share in some of those moments with her. And I can tell you, it has affected the roles that I want to do. Um, like on the film side, for example, now it's a big chase for family friendly films.
Yeah.
So she can watch, and her friends can watch. I got Jumanji coming out around Christmas time, and I'm like super excited. I'm more excited. It's Jumanji, so it's a kind of a big deal. But I'm like, oh, sweet! I can't wait to sit in the theater. I'm taking her whole classroom to go see it with the kids. So because she's always like, like she'll try to like sneak and watch certain things that I'm in, like or like even like Spider Noir, we were like watching it at home. I'm like, baby, you can't see it.
My
Like, you
son's
can
two and a
watch
half, and
this.
I held him up in front of the screen like this. And I was like, "Don't you
Yes.
close your eyes. You watch this. You watch this. You see all these toys and shit. It's right there, baby.
This is how
Right there.
daddy pays for it.
Yeah. You got a
You know.
trampoline in the living room, dog. Like that's because daddy is that. Take that. No, 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 no. He's his first
Yes.
Braveheart. So
Wait, he saw Braveheart?
yeah, but right in the hospital, dude. Day 2, he was born. I was like, we're gonna learn a little bit about freedom today, boy. We're gonna watch
So we
Braveheart.
Braveheart, it's gonna be Amistad. We're
Yeah,
gonna learn a lot about freedom.
Braveheart today. Who knows? Gladiator tomorrow.
Roots tomorrow.
Yeah. So, well, dude, look, I got some people have been texting in some questions and stuff. I'm gonna filter through some of them. Some are probably pretty
Mhm.
dumb, but let's see what you guys want to say to Lamorne. But dude, before I get to this, man, like honestly, bro, thank you so much for like just like chopping it up and like giving your wisdom and advice and like
Dude,
you know,
anytime, man. Anytime. Are you kidding
anytime,
me?
really. Next Saturday, what are you doing? I'm just kidding.
I'll be here. No, I'll be on the
Uh,
plane.
let's see. Okay, here we go. This is from Carafe. She says, what's the most dramatic role you've taken on, and were you able to integrate your trademark humor and levity into that project? If so, how?
Carafe, is that the name?
Yes.
Hello, Carafe. I would say I'd probably say it's Fargo. So Fargo was interesting. When I got the call, there's a lot of comedic performances in Fargo. It's technically a dark comedy, but this season of Fargo in particular was very dark. Subject matter was very heavy. Um, when I got asked to do it, um, I I got an offer from Noah Hawley, the creator, and I was so confused because prior to that, I'd only done like kind of broader comedies. Game Night was a more grounded comedy, but still kind of broad, and it was silly in a bunch of movies. And New Girl, obviously, I was such an idiot on that show, so I was like, I was, and I was just kind of like, well, what? I asked him, what about me makes you think I can do this role? And he said, well, I wrote it in a way where you can go broad or you can go very, like real and just, you know. And I said, all right. He's like, well, it's dealer's choice. I just need you to be kind. He said, the reason why I wanted you for it because kindness seems to push through all your performances. And I was like, oh, I never actually like clocked that. I just was, doing the work that I wanted to do and creating characters
It's weird though,
and he,
because someone who has met you, and that's exactly what I clocked the second I met you at the woke chemistry room.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah, I got lucky, man. I got lucky because I wasn't clocking it. I just was like, it is what it is. And
Well, it wouldn't be
when
as
he,
genuine if you were like, I'm kind. Look how
I'm a
kind I am.
nice motherfucker, man.
Don't forget that my brand is kind.
Yeah.
You know my
You
brand.
better shut the fuck up. I'm trying to be
Being kind
nice.
taught me everything has to be kind.
So yeah, he said that I just want someone to be kind. So I said, you know what? Everyone knows me from being silly and big and broad. I'm gonna go opposite of it. And Fargo ended it obviously it ended up working out, you know what I mean? But
Yeah. Mhm.
um but I'm so glad I chose that route, you know, and stretched that muscle in a way that I did because it was to be fair, it was the toughest assignment that I've ever had because it took everything in me. You have Noah Hawley is very script strict. Okay, very. He knows what he's writing. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he writes it in a way where if you perform it the way he's writing it, you're golden. And
Mathematics.
yeah, he was like, "This is it. You can't lose." And every day I'd be itching. Like, I just want to tell a fart joke. I just want to mention my dick in this scene. I don't know why. I just was like itching to do something so stupid and irresponsible. And I never really did. But every once in a while, when you read an episode, you go, oh, I think he's giving me a moment here to like kind of play. And if you watch the season, I got to play a little bit, in certain pockets, in certain moments, and it was very rewarding. It was like if I'm dry, it was like a little sip of water. It's like stick with it, but here's a little sip of water.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. And so obviously I'm very grateful for that. But I would say Fargo for sure was uh was the one.
that's great. I think your performance in Noir is a cool balance too, man. Because like when I was like some of the dude there, and he improvised a lot of it, like especially some of the
Hmm.
stuff that I'm not gonna give anything away, but there's a couple throwaways that he hits that are so fucking funny that he just hit it and let it ride. But then there's also these like very sincere moments. Like I think you really walked the line great in Noir, dude. Like you had a
Thank you.
very grounded performance, but it is taking place in a different time. And so
Hmm.
you found a really cool way to like play with that. Maddie
Thank you.
Zabawa wants to ask, what's a cool on-set experience from Noir that you can talk about?
Is it Maddie?
Maddie Zabawa.
Maddie Zabawa. Uh, a cool. I there's a few cool. There's a lot. There's a lot. I would say one of them was working with Nick. He if I can tell this story, yeah, I'll tell it. He I'm like a huge Nick Cage fan. Just like I'm still in shock that I have his number. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where he's just such an iconic part of my upbringing. You know, every character, I'm like, this dude is just the dude. He like, that's Nick Cage. So I was always in awe with working with him. And there was a moment I would ask him questions about everything. Like money, he loves cars. I would ask him about his cars. And having him be so vulnerable and kind of like break down his life, you know, with that part of his life was 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 it was surreal because you're seeing a genuine person, and it took away the what do you call it, the romance out of the eyes that I had for his allure. That just kind of went away, and I was like, I'm talking to a soul. You know what I mean? A
He
real
had such a
person.
great way of doing that, dude. Because I mean, I've told the story
Hmm.
here. You have to be like, again, I think that's the optics. It's like when you know you're that, like when you
Hmm.
know you're Nicolas Cage and you know the world's going to look at you like that, you
Hmm.
have to learn how to disarm people like that. And or you don't
Yeah.
necessarily have to. Some people probably like that the world looks at them like that.
Oh yeah.
But Nick Cage clearly over the decades of being Nicolas Cage has mastered the art of disarming you from looking at him like that. And it's not like
Oh,
he's judging you for it.
dude, there
But
was a moment. There was a moment. I'm not gonna say who the actor was, but she was so enamored with him. Like when he was there, she was just kind of like staring at him like this. Like she had like a look, just watching him, and he knew she was watching. So out of nowhere, they're like resetting something, like resetting a scene for another take, and he's just standing there, and he's like going through the motions in his head, and she's staring at him from the corner of the room, and all of a sudden he just goes, "I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence." She lost it. The whole room lost it. I was like, yes, it was. He
yeah,
knows. He
yeah.
knows what it is, and he's such a pro that he'll give you a little bit of what you're looking for.
Oh yeah.
And now let's get back to
Oh
work.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
That self-awareness, man. It's awesome.
Hmm.
This is from Richie. Richie says you played Garrett Morris in Saturday Night. How did you approach portraying a real person as opposed to a fictional character? And are you related to him?
Hello, Richie. No, not related. Although when I was a kid, I used to tell people he was my dad.
There you go.
Um, they would be like, because my dad wasn't around since the time I was 8. Um, and Martin would come on, and at the end of the show, they would have the credits, and he played Stan on Martin. And every time his name would pop up, I go, "That's my daddy." There you go. I ain't your daddy. If that was your daddy, why you poor?
Yeah.
Like, you a deadbeat.
I also
Um,
know why you don't remember your dad yelling at you that much anymore. He wasn't really like, you know what I
it
mean?
wasn't. It
He's just a little
wasn't
gonna
around.
yell at you for a minute.
He wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yelling at me from letters.
Probably would have been, to be honest. I think that's crazy, dude, because you told this whole story about your pops and you spoke so highly of him. Like you were like, he kind of labeled you as the clown and
Hmm.
set you on your journey. And you never mentioned that like it wasn't
Yeah.
like that's great. Like that's a way to bury
Oh,
the lead, dude. Like I might need you another half hour.
yeah. Dad was a drug dealer, and user, and that it was probably a good thing that he left around
Sure.
around
And
the time
God
I was
bless,
8.
but like he left you
God
with
bless him.
something,
Yeah.
man. He left you
Yeah.
with that clown thing that I feel like drove everything that happened in your whole life. That's to me like one of the craziest, coolest things
Yeah.
ever, dude. Do
I
you
mean, it is, no matter what it is, like you have to, if you, listen, if you're gonna leave your kids, leave them with something at least. And
yeah.
that helped me. I'm not gonna lie to you, because that put the battery in my back from a young age.
Was there
But
ever any reconciliation or anything after that?
when I got a little bit older, we started chit chatting. Just he moved to Belize. He had been deported back to Belize, and so we would have once social media became a thing, and we would have an easier way to communicate. And but I was still a little bitter, so I didn't really want to talk to him that much. So we never had the best line of communication. It wasn't until up until a couple of years before he passed away that we started. You know, he was having some medical issues, so I would take care of all his medical stuff. So we would communicate,
Did he
kind
see
of.
you become like famous and shit? Like, did he see that happen?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
he did. He did.
That difficult? Did that make it harder for you to want to talk to him? Because it's like, oh fuck you.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie to you because I didn't know. I didn't. You don't really know. It's like you're communicating with somebody now that you're on television.
Right.
You don't. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's my son's rich and famous. Me
Yeah.
going like, I don't think that's what it was, but it was a seed that was there. So I was never fully comfortable with having full on stretches of conversations with him. So they'd be real brief, real quick. Um, he has I have a half sister. I would communicate with her, on his like, if he needed something, I would talk to her about it,
Yeah.
and or his one of his brothers. You know what I mean? But it was honestly was weird. My grandmother, his mother, was passing away, and so me and my brother went to go see her, and we were literally at her deathbed, and he FaceTimed his brother, and this was the first time I had like and I don't know how long seen him like and had a real time conversation with him, and it was very difficult. But I was like at the same time it was like a little boy in me was so happy to like I was like this is my it wasn't like this is my father, it's like this is my daddy. Like
Yeah.
this was weird. It
Yeah.
was so
Because the
weird. It
last
was
time you saw him, he was. So
yeah.
like that's gonna click, right? Like you didn't have that process of going from like little boy to like teen, where all of a sudden it's like, what's up, pops? Like, you didn't
Yeah.
get that experience. So like of course it triggered that
And
like
I was
right back
trying to
to, oh man, that's crazy.
play it so stern and so like, because I'm literally sitting next to his mother who's passing away. And it was really tough. It was really tough. And then not soon after, like literally like year and a half, 2 years later, um, I got a call that he died. And so the next time I saw him in person was at his funeral, in Belize. So that was a tough one. That was really, and it was different. It wasn't like tough like you lose a parent that's been around your whole life. Like that will break you. This one was just like a regretful thing.
Yeah, because there's
Cause
so
I,
many unanswered questions and so many like,
yeah,
and because in that 8 years, even in that one moment, I mean, I asked you tonight, like, what was the triggering moment of your artistry and your journey? You were like, my dad said I was a clown. That's what this
yeah,
whole thing started with. And so like, you're damn near defined by one moment with this man, who you
mhm,
then nothing until he's gone. Like
yeah,
it's I can see why it wouldn't be like depression, sadness, but it's like it's the so much needed to be filled there, you know?
yeah. And it honestly, it makes me want to just be connected physically more to my child. Like I need to be in the same room with her. I need to be, even if I got work going on, I'm like, I need to know that I can see her. Like it's just being available. You know what I mean for your kids because you know, like it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be anything glamorous. We don't have to be going on to the park or going on a trip or it's just sitting. You know what I mean? And having her know that she can just come grab me, and I can go grab her, and like because I didn't have that with him, and 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 you're my mom did a great job of raising us, so there is that void that she helped fill. And I had cool uncles, you know what I mean? And so, but still, there's still that thing where like Damon Wayans Jr. and Jake Johnson and Max Greenfield were all in New Girl together. They love doing this bit. Well, if they're having a conversation and I like come in on the conversation, it's like they know me so well. They'll stop and they'll go, "Sorry, dude, we're talking about dads, and we don't we didn't.
My
Sorry,
buddy
we didn't
Miles, my
include you."
buddy Miles, one of my best friends, his dad left when he was a baby. And every year on Father's Day, I'll send him a picture of me being like, hey, dude, just hanging out with your pops. I like playing cards with your dad. It's when you got a buddy like that, you can let it ride,
Yeah.
you know?
I
Uh,
mean, they used to destroy me. But I want to get back to this Garrett
yeah.
question. Um, um, yes, I called Garrett Morris. To me the easiest part of what we do like it's hard to create out of nothing. You know what I mean? It's like if when you get dealer's choice, you're like, man, I could go so many avenues with this character. But when you're playing someone who exists, we're all mimics, I think. We're all copycats. I can like lock in on someone and like do what they do, especially because I've been watching Garrett since I was a kid. So and there are two parts of Garrett. There's Garrett, who we see on television. He's a performer, man. So he's real big, and that's his style. He likes to do this, and his inflections go up and down, man. But like when you talk to like the real Garrett, he's a bit more understated. He's not performing. He's so I got a chance to like talk with him and really sit with him and like it's like hours upon hours upon hours upon hours. His thing was he didn't care anything about that. He just wanted me to be honest about his life and tell the story of like how it happened. And I was like, it's a good thing I didn't write the script, Garrett. So I'm just gonna do what they told
That would have been
me.
like Act Two. He figures out he's got a son in Chicago.
Yeah.
He's been watching him on TV. And
Yeah,
Lamorne, bro,
man.
I can't thank you enough, dude. This has been so awesome and informative, man. And I stand by my initial impression of you. You're just fucking great stand up, dude.
Oh man.
And I can't wait to fucking keep going and running into each other more and more as we do this thing. And I'd love to have you
Yes,
back
indeed.
on.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
I
For sure,
appreciate
dude. This has been great. And congrats on what you're doing, man. I think your class, all your people, they're gonna they're gonna be pissed off because you ain't gonna be available. So, you ain't gonna be around to teach no more classes, dog.
we'll be all right. We'll be all right. We'll work something out.
Shit. Cause
Shut up,
this, shit-
Lamorne. Goddamn, what the
this-
fuck, bro?
y'all better get y'all money back. This motherfucker is out of here.
I guess we're gonna find out if Lamorne Morris can really carry a show then, you know what I mean? Because if it works, then we know. We know.
Okay.
Uh,
Dude. Oh my God. Oh, before I go, I gotta tell you a funny story. There's an actor I know, a great friend of mine. His name is Sir Darius Blaine. He teaches classes here in LA. But we were shooting Jumanji and he couldn't be there he had they had called him in to do a couple scenes, and he had a whole thing going. He had a guest speaker in his class. And like it was a whole thing, right? And all these students were preparing their final scenes that they'd been rehearsing for a while. And he had to be at work. So all day this dude is on Zoom with his ear pod in, and we would say it's a cut, and he would like just break off to a corner and be like, okay, now here's what I need you to do. Okay, I need you to try that scene again. But so he would bring us on camera. We got Danny DeVito there. He would like, hey, you want to say anything to the class? First
yeah.
thing I said was, get your money back. Your teacher ain't nowhere to be found. Fuck this dude.
He's over here doing Jumanji. Don't worry, I never leave him like that. All right, bro. Well, Lamorne, I appreciate it, dude. I really
Oh
do.
man,
Let's definitely
thank
do
you,
it
bro.
again, man. And I
For
can't
sure.
wait for the world to see what we did in Noir, man. It's gonna be awesome.
Yes, indeed, man. I'll see you soon.
All right,
Peace, y'all.
take care. Have a good night.